Alright, so now I need to install first the inverter, just because if I put the batteries down here, then it's gonna be hard to reach this point to install inverter, and it's very heavy, like 57 kilograms, something like that. So I would like to be, you know, as close as possible to the wall so we can lift it. To attach it, the inverter comes with this back plate. I'm gonna be using my infamous anchors. And I say infamous because I got a lot of comments when I was installing the heater that is here. Basically the anchor stays like this, and then you put the washer and screw everything all the way to here, and everything makes a lot of pressure. And I got a lot of comments saying that it was not enough for the weight of this heater. I did my research, but you know, I don't know yet because I haven't filled the tank yet. Hopefully this doesn't fall. Regardless, I'm just saying all that because I'm gonna be using a couple of those for this, and then a couple of screws. Alright, now the bracket is in place, and now we need to lift this heavy machine all the way up to there, and we don't have much space, so I'm sorry, but you're gonna stay there, and Eugenia is gonna come and help me with this because we really don't have space, and it is very high and it is very heavy too. So let's see if we can do it alone, or we can bring Lolita. Pero para sacarlo de aquí, así lo podemos coger.
¿Se puede poner de pie?
No,
¿Qué hacemos? ¿Este pique?
oye,
No, no.
¿cómo lo sacamos aquí?
Hay que ponerlo aquí. Espera, no. ¿Cuánto pesa esto?
50 kilos.
Yo me... Sí. Voy a hacerlo. Un momento. Yo tengo que coger.
Déjame coger el vídeo aquí y tú lo coges de abajo, ¿vale? Pero mira.
No puedo.
Sí. Mira desde abajo un sitio donde puedas poner las manos.
No puedo.
¿Por qué?
Yo tengo que coger desde aquí.
Vamos todos los dos.
¿Me puedes dejar? Hostia, esto es un momento. Un momento, espérate, vamos a pensar. ¿Cómo vamos a hacerlo?
Te he dicho, vamos a levantarlo, vamos a apoyarlo en la pared, para la vamos a arañar. Pero es... Y vamos a ir arrastrándolo para arriba. Vamos a ver, esto... Un momento.
Espérate,
Es que esto
me voy a
creo
quitar el
que
guante, me va a
esto lo voy a quitar. Porque esto lo vamos a partir.
¿El qué?
Esta tapa.
Y arrastrándolo por la pared así.
Malo.
Ya. Es que no podemos ninguno de los dos.
A ver, yo sí puedo, pero todo alguien como yo al lado no podemos.
Ya, pero es que tú puedes, pero no me das espacio a mí para coger nada.
A la andela queda aquí.
Ahí, yo no tengo fuerza para meterme aquí.
No. Por ¿Se ha manchado?
¿Sí?
Alright, this guy is here. Look at the size of it. Look at my handling skill. It was very hard to lift. I thought we weren't going to do it, but we were strong enough to do it, and it's there already installed. Perfect location. We damaged a little bit the wall. I don't know if you can see. Not big deal. This is the location of the batteries, and they're very heavy as well. 57 kilograms each. Arriba, la mete para arriba, ¿no? Sí. Ya está apoyado, ya está apoyado. Un momento, ¿eh? Arriba, arriba, arriba.
¿Ya?
Segura, una vez. Arriba, arriba, arriba. Ahí está.
Cuando me digas.
I travel for work very often. I don't show it much in the videos, but it's actually in the background of my life. And landing in a new country with no data used to stress me out, searching for Wi-Fi, lining up to get a SIM card, hoping that it actually works in my phone. And now I just get it sorted before I even fly. SIMify is a travel eSIM. You don't need a physical SIM card to get into the phone, so you don't actually need to swap anything and don't need to go to a store to get it. You just download it in the phone. Before my trip, I just download the SIMify app and choose my destination, purchase a plan and scan the QR code with my phone, and that installs the eSIM directly on my phone. Then when I land, I go into my settings, turn on the SIMify line, enable data roaming, and within a minute, I am online. That means I can book transport, open Google Maps, message Eugenia and Lolita and tell them that I'm fine without any chaos or stress. Plans start from under $2 a day and over 500,000 travelers already use it. If you have got a trip coming up, get your SIMify eSIM before you fly. Use my code MHC15 for 15% off, or click in the link in the description below. Or even better, you can just scan this QR code that is going to be here, or I don't know, here, or I don't know where I'm going to put it, here.
now it's been a couple of days after I installed the battery. Well, we installed the battery. Some of you don't like that I speak for myself. I need to always speak in plural. So we installed the battery because I didn't install it, you know. I'm gonna continue. Alright, now before I start wiring everything, I already installed the main switch of the batteries. I just need to do this and everything will be off. And then this is a big special fuse for the batteries. It's a fuse that is very sensitive, so it's designed for lithium batteries. I'm gonna install now a box, protection box. This one is going to be for several protection elements that I'm gonna be installing in the system, in the solar system. So the solar panels, we're gonna have 3 arrays, one of 15 panels, another one of 15 panels, and another one of 6. So each of them has 2 cables, one black one, which is a negative, and a red one, which is the positive. In case that a lighting, you know, hit one of the panels are gonna have a protection. First of all, they're gonna be grounded, of course, and second of all, imagine that the lighting hits the panel and it creates a lot of intensity. You know, everything stops here and it doesn't burn, you know, whatever is down the chain, like the inverter or the batteries, I don't know, just in case. So we have 3 of these guys, one for each array, and then from here they go to the inverter. This is a 3-phase inverter, so we're gonna have 3-phase current. The output of the inverter is going to be also protected by another surge protection device, which is for 3 phases, so it's L1, L2, L3, so phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and the neutral, and then the ground goes here. If there is a surge in power, instead of burning everything that is inside the house, this is gonna stop here, and you will see one of these will become red. That will mean that you need to spend another 400 euros, but at least you didn't, you know, break anything down the line, downstream. Alright, we have a huge cable that I bought for the main connection of the main box, electrical box inside the house, from the inverter to the main electrical box, and it's very big, so I don't know if we're gonna be able to actually fit it. It's been a mistake to buy this green cable. I should have bought 4 different cables, but on paper it looked good. So we're gonna leave it in the sun to see if it gets a little bit softer. This cable, 25 millimeters each, and four wires inside. What do you think, Eugenia?
I think we can fit it.
Let's see. I don't think we should remove it completely, because if not, we're not gonna be able to put it back, and if we need to return it.
Déjalo aquí ya al sol. Un rato.
Alright, so the cable has to go all the way to that box. Ya, tú no vas abajo. Toma, no, come tú eso, que eso pesa 40. Te aguanta luego, se lo
Esa flecha, ¿la has visto que esa...?
Vamos a punto.
¿Ah?
Vamos a punto. ¡Vamos! ¡Espera! ¡Para! ¡Venga, vamos! Now we need to feed it to the junction box through this one. Mira que toque. Te voy a dar un Eso es lo que yo quería evitar.
Ya.
Que me ha pasado justo cuando lo cogido con las 2 manos, que no me hiciera así y no tener esta mano puesta. ¡Poco más! ¡Más! ¡Más! ¡Ay, ay, ay! ¡Y ahora para acá! ¡Espera, espera! ¡Vamos! 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 ¡Un poco más! ¡Ahí! maybe one push more. And now let's double check when I clean this. De sobra, ¿no? Puta. Alright, so a long time ago I left this cable, as you can see here. It's a ground cable coming from the inside of the house because we need to ground the structure and electrical installation, of course. And so I bought this ground rod. It's all copper and it's 150 tall. Supposed to be enough for the kind of ground that we have. So I'm gonna try to dig it in. It's gonna be fun. This is the rod, and it's gonna go 4 meters away from the center of the door. not really. I don't like mag bags. This is actually a measuring device. Alright, I set the first rod here, and I need to go another 5 or 10 meters away. Lolita, can you help me with this, man? Lolita, is this correct? Alright, so let's turn this on. I'm gonna set it 2000 ohms first. Ideally, I should get a readout of under 20 for solar setup. Normal residentials get like below 100. That's good. And then 200. It reads out at 46.5 ohms. And now ideally it should be less than that, but no, it's not. What we got with this first ground rod is 46.5 ohms, which is actually not bad. Normal residentials, as I said, they need to be under 100 here in the code in Portugal. Oh, that's what I read. But for the type of solar installation that we're gonna be doing, I would like it to be below 20, so everything can work securely and more efficient in case that I'm, a lighting or something like that. The SPDs require a little bit more ground connection. So I have two options. Either you see that this has a thread, so I can connect a second rod, another 1.5 meters, and then hammer it down. So I will get 3 meters in, or I could just go 2 meters away, maybe there, and hammer down another rod and connect both rods. That will give me double the surface of contact, which will increase the conductivity of the system, of the ground rods, because there are two now. What I'm gonna do now, because I can already start working with these numbers, and the other thing is just to make it even better. But what I'm gonna do now is just keep watering it for like 3-4 days and see if it improves, because right now it's freshly installed and we need the soil around it to actually hug around the rod. So I'm gonna keep watering it like abundantly every now and then during the next few days. But at the same time, I'm gonna continue working with the solar installation because as you remember, we installed the panels a few weeks ago, but I didn't want to connect anything until we had the ground set up, because if in case of a failure we needed to have a ground, so we don't get electrocuted ourselves or we damage the equipment. So that's what I'm gonna do now. Alright, the next thing that I need to do is to connect the solar panels to the system, so to the fuse and to all the protections. But last time that I was working with the cables from the solar panels, it was a very cloudy day and very, like it was even raining, and I didn't disconnect the cables from the roof, and I was thinking about not doing it, but I accidentally touched both ends, from the positive and the negative, and got electrocuted like really quickly. Puta. Not much, because luckily it was a rainy day, so I would like to avoid dying today. So I'm gonna go on the roof and disconnect the MC4 connectors from the solar panels to make sure that I don't die while I touch this, because if I'm not wrong, I will have around 650 volts, so that's a lot of voltage going through your body if you accidentally touch both cables. And I would recommend you, if you are doing this and you are doing more than what I did in the workshop, like it was 5 panels or something like that. Now, for example, I'm doing 15. of almost 490 watts each. I will recommend you taking precautions. Don't do like me. So I'm gonna try to do it properly in front of the camera so you know how it's done. Alright, so these are the 15 panels. I have 8 panels in the front and 7 in the back, and I have a positive being connected there and a negative that comes from the last panel. So the first panel is positive, and then they go all in series and comes back to a negative. So I'm gonna disconnect both cables, so the whole system is disconnected from the cables that I'm gonna be touching in the mechanical room. Alright, so this is the main connector, the positive one. I use these gloves. They are not gonna protect me from anything. If shit hits the fan, these gloves are not gonna do pretty much anything, but you know, just in case. And then I'm gonna use this tool so I don't have to touch the connector to actually disconnect it. So I'm gonna just, as I use this guy, so I don't need to be like touching in there, and then I disconnected the positive. So now the positive is here. I'm gonna leave it just, and now I'm gonna go do the same to the negative. All right, now all the panels are connected to each other, but the negative, which is the last cable, and the positive, which is the first one, are disconnected from the cables in the mechanical room. And now I can connect the cables in the mechanical room to the fuse, to the SPDs, and then eventually, probably hopefully today, to the inverter, so we can charge the battery with the solar panels without being at risk of, you know, dying, because dying is not good if you want to live. Alright, so this red cable is the red cable, the positive from the array. This is the first fuse that I'm gonna be installing for the first array. The SPDs for the first array. That's what I'm doing. So now I'm gonna just put a terminal in this positive and connect it to the fuse. And I'm using high quality terminals made in Germany. I mean, they don't need to be made in Germany, but it's always better to buy quality terminals, because you know this is actually the last thing that the electricity is going to be touching. And I also bought the crimping tool from the same brand. Alright guys, it's the next day. It's very early in the morning, like 6:30 or something, and I'm gonna turn on the inverter and the batteries for the first time, and then I'm gonna go on the roof to turn on the, if everything goes well, to turn on the solar panels. This is a complete mess. As you can see, I'm not very proud of this, but it is what it is. I will clean everything up later on. And here I have everything connected already. The fuse is already installed, the fuse for the batteries. The switch is already on. And here all the connections are in place. The communication cable, all the battery cables, and the protections. You know, the electricity from the inverter is off because I don't have the connection yet from the inverter all the way to the box. I have though the ground of the inverter already installed. As you can see, it goes here all the way down and to this ground bar, and from this ground bar goes all the way to the ground rod that we installed the other day. I'm gonna turn it on, and for that I need to turn on all 5 batteries. Alright, now the buttons are on all of them, and I just need to push the top one. Alright, all the 5 batteries are now on and connected. Switch is on, the main fuse of the batteries is in. Let me show you the fuse because it's very heavy duty. That's already in place, so the batteries are connected to the inverter. And now I am gonna turn on the inverter. And hopefully it works. Hey, it's turning on. And as you can see, the batteries are at 70%. I mean, they're brand new. I didn't charge them. We are off grid. Now I need to, as you can see, this fuse is here. It's for the solar panels array. I need to go up to the roof, connect what I disconnected yesterday, and then come back and install the fuse. And with that, solar panels will be charging for the very first time. Even though I risk losing some of you now, let me show you how it works. These are 4 cables coming from the solar panels. The black is a negative, the red is a positive, and then I have 2 grounds. You can have only one, but I have 2 because I have 2 different lines, 2 different rows. The grounds go to the ground bar, and from the ground bar goes to this other ground bar, and from this ground bar goes all the way to the ground rod that we installed yesterday. And then the black and the red, I'm gonna do the red first. For example, the red goes down, it goes into this fuse first, this fuse box. Right now there is no fuse. Then the cable continues up and goes inside the positive of the SPD, the SPD protection of the panels. As you can see, I use a 2-head terminal, so we can split into two reds. Then the red goes in and goes out all the way up into the connection of the inverter, and the black just goes down without going to a fuse and goes all the way in the SPD, and from the SPD it goes and all the way into the first connection of the solar panels in the inverter. Alright, now the ones that were still in the video are gonna turn on the solar panels and see if this charges. The panels are connected on the roof, and now the moment of truth. I am going to put this fuse in there, and with this the panels will be on. And we have panels, man. What? I mean, it's only 0.59. As I said, it's 6:30. It says 7:30, but I need to change the inverter because it's not set up yet. It's very early, so the sun is still coming out. By the time that the sun gets a little bit higher, we will have much more power. I mean, we have around 7,000 watts we will have. Right now we're getting 0.62. Alright guys, this is very exciting, man. The sun is charging the house. I just cannot believe it. Holy fuck, I'm gonna cry. I mean, there is still a lot of work to do here. As you can see, this box is still under construction, and that box is not there. As you can see, it's for security, for safety. I actually installed the grounds, so you know, everything is grounded. but there is still a lot of work to do. But this means that the batteries are charging, the solar panels are working, and now I just need to focus on continue, chipping away every connection. I have thousands of connections to do in the house, but I will do one after the other, one after the other, one after the other, and at some point in a couple of weeks, all the connections will be done, and we will have full electricity in the house.